Okay, first of all, I'm not crying, okay? Something get into my eyes. Eileen Wong, who used to live at Box Hill North. This is Daniel. I'm home. After 30 years. But you're not home. It means I come back home homeless. We spent not even 1 year yet together, but all these 30 years, I cannot say every day, but every second day, you have never been out of my mind. I don't know why you are so important to me. You know, I had one girlfriend before. We spent 8 years together. That's a very long time. But after we apart, I don't even remember her. So it means there is a fate. I don't know if you believe in reborn, believe in previous life, which I do. I remember I talked this story before. I lived in the 16th century, somewhere in Denmark, I think. And my mother told me, I'm the future. I'm the child of the future. So I was born in the wrong time. Then there was a neighbor girl deadly in love with me and want to be with me. And her mother and my mother says, no, you cannot get married. You cannot be together because you don't belong to the same time. You belong to a different time. So we went to see a wise man, ask for advice, say, what can we do? How can we be together? The man says, okay, if this girl can jump into the water, she would become a tree. Then that will lead to the time when I born again. So this girl did. She jumped in the water and turned herself to be a tree. And my mother talked like this to me. He says, Daniel, you will be reborn somewhere in Asia, and I will also follow you. I may not be very good looking. I would probably also look like an Asian. But I will be with you, look after you. This is what, as far as I remember. So, I think the relationship between me and Eileen is not just a man and woman or husband and wife. It's not that kind of relationship. It was not that kind of relationship in the beginning for me. Okay? Eileen to me is just a family, a sister, or should I say, a mother. Otherwise, how come I trust her so much, so fully, unconditionally? I trusted her. When I left Australia, I left all my money, that was, I think, at least 20% of the house, and all my personal belongings in the house, because that was I regarded as home. And I knew I would come back someday, for sure. Now the time is come. Why? You just Google my name. You know what's happened to me. The whole world knows what happened to me. It's a huge news. It's to the BBC and Strad everywhere. So and I think God asked me to come back to you. But you're not there. Okay. You're so strange. Not only you, the whole family. I remember your father. I remember your mother. I remember you have a eldest brother called Mason. His wife is Linda. They had a daughter, Lisa, was about 5 years old. Now should be like 35 years old now. And your second brother is Benson. And your youngest brother is Wyson. I remember them all. Why I remember all these family members so clearly? Because I'm part of the family. I really strong believe that in our previous life we were family. That's why we're bound together so strongly, at least on my side. Okay, now let's talk about a little bit the story between us, because many people don't know. I came here to Australia 1987, and after 3 months I met Eileen Wong, and she invited me to stay at her house at Box Hill. I believe that was the time she just bought their house, because I checked the internet. The house was sold in 1987 for the first time. So it was just about she bought the house, we got to know each other. Okay, then we stayed together and as boyfriend and girlfriend. But she was such a strong Christian. No sex before marriage. Okay. But that was not a big problem for me, because be very, very, very honest, I was never physically, sexually attracted by her. She is just like a sister, like a family member, as I said. So a man and woman live together in the same house without sex, then it has to be like a brother or sisters, It's not a boyfriend, a girlfriend at all. And also, we lived together very peacefully, very happily. There was always food in the refrigerator, because her father was running a takeaway food business. So every day must something left. She brought it back, put in the fridge. Always things to eat. We never fought. We never had any problem. And we had a wonderful time together. The question was, why I left suddenly? There are a few reasons. The very direct reason was my visa was running out, because I came to Australia as a student visa, and this 1-year visa just ran out. Eileen asked me quite a few times, why don't you propose to me? Why don't you propose to me? Why you don't ask me to marry you? By that time, marriage of convenience was very popular here. A Chinese boy marry a Aborigines or an old lady, just for the visa, is very common. It's very common. Or even the young girls marry old people for visa, or some people pay for. So I could marry her for convenience, for the visa, for get a citizenship, but I could not. I could not allow me to do that. I did not to marry her for convenience. So psychologically, as a pride, a man, I could not excuse myself to marry you for convenience. This is the very first thing. The second thing is that I knew that we would not get along well if we lived together as husband and wife. Why? You remember once I borrowed a video from video shop. That's adult video, okay? Because we had no sex relationship, and I had no sex with anybody else. I was a young man under 30s. I was so absorbed, so excited. At that moment, I did not even notice you came in to the house. And you got so angry at me. You said, you got a dirty mind. Something like your mind is sick. You were so pissed off. And I got so scared. And after that, I just, everything linked with sex, I thought was sin, was bad. But I know my nature. I have a dirty side of myself as a man. I think many men do. So if we got married and if something happened, you'll get very hurt. So that is another thing I thought, that we were not meant to be husband and wife. Okay. Another thing is spiritually, you were a very strong Christian, and very simple-minded in a way. And I'm different. I'm very curious to a lot of things I want to learn, I want to experience. I remember you worked in an insurance company and you didn't like it. And I was working in a school, taking care of the foreign students, and I had all the problems with them. Because they're new in this country, they violate all the laws. Some people get raped, some people get robbed, some people, don't pay for the ticket on the bus, get caught. Everything happened to my students, the police call me. Sometimes I have to wake up in the middle of the night and say someone committed suicide or something, So I got all the stress in my mind, very much. And yes, I made a lot of money, but at the same time, I was under a lot of pressure, psychologically, mentally, and physically as well. So I remember you mentioned something, says, okay, maybe we can just both quit the job. I know how my father's takeaway food business going. I know everything. Maybe we can start our own business as a food business, something like a takeaway food. Wonderful for most of people, but not for me. My life is music, is art. I'm an artist. I could never be running a takeaway food restaurant, something like that. So that is not my lifestyle. So in a way, we are not on the same boat. Okay. Anyway, in many situations, and I don't think we're meant to be husband and wife, but we were just kind of family, has something very much tight bound together, much stronger than just husband and wife. Okay, the story goes on how I left Australia, because I was very much puzzled. I was, so much confused. I was young too, so I had no one turn for help. Then I started to remember someone. Her name is Marianna. Marianna is a Norwegian scholar, came to Melbourne to do some research work. We met at La Trobe University Library. Of course, first we met in a party, and that's a long story. It's written in my book. The title of the book is Three Womans. And I remember we met at La Trobe University. She kissed me before she left. I did not really think too much about that, because that kind of Australian custom, man and woman kiss each other very lightly as a greeting. But Marianna sent me postcard whenever she goes to Singapore, to anywhere. She always sent me a postcard. But that time, people sent postcards. So I started to remember her. Then it was at the mid of the night, and I could not sleep. My visa just ran out in another maybe couple of weeks or something. I just called her. And she answered the phone. Yeah, what's up? She asked. I said, okay, Marianna, I'm in trouble. Then I explained everything to her, that I am very much troubled and I'm confused. I didn't know what to do. Then she said, oh, it's very easy. You come to Norway, I give you a free course for 3 months. You come here for short study for 3 months, and then you have 3 months of thinking it over. What do you want to do? I thought that was a great idea. So as far as I can escape just for 3 months. So I bought a ticket and for Norway. Then I just told Eileen very briefly, I'm going to Norway for a short course, 3 months. I'll be back. Of course, Eileen was Australian. She does not know much about the visa problem with this and that, She said, oh, okay. Then before I leave, I only brought a very small bag of a few personal things. Clothes, something, camera. I left all my personal belongings, books, everything, and all my money. I only took myself maybe just $3,000 something, and left all my money to her. Then she's talking about this, because She said, okay, Daniel, if you have all this money put in the bank, does not make any money, why don't you just invest in this house? So I will let you to be 30% or 20% the owner of the house. So we own the house together. I thought that was a great idea. That was all I thought I could do. So I gave the money to her. Automatically, I thought I was part of the house owner. Okay. So I left Australia, then I met Mariana. Of course, I had to stay at her place. Same, she was a scholar, and we stayed together as friends. No man and woman relationship, as friends. But 3 months went very fast. Then before I have to go, I had a choice. Either I go back to Australia, marry Eileen for convenience, for the visa, or I go back to China. And I talked with Mariana. And Mariana said, you don't like Norway? I said, I like Norway. Then you can stay in Norway. I said, how? You can marry me. You can marry me for convenience. Okay? Okay. I skipped something very important. Very important. And I'll go back. The most important reason I left Australia was Eileen's one sentence. Eileen said to me, if you marry me, it's forever. If you ever want to divorce me, you have to cross my dead body. That scared me very much. Okay. I could never kill anybody. I couldn't do that. Even if I'm cold, I have to marry someone for convenience. I don't want to kill anybody. That's why I called Mariana. Okay, I have to cut this part, glue in the front. Then Mariana said, you can marry me for convenience. By the time you get your passport, Norwegian passport, you can divorce me if you want. If you don't want, we can be husband and wife forever. But if you want to divorce me, I will not die. Then I was very curious. I said, why you are so nice to me? Why you want to do all those, favor to me? Mariana says, no, it's not a favor. You are stupid. You are the most stupid man I've ever met in the world. But you are the only man I want to marry. I'm in love with you. The first sight in Melbourne. But you did not notice. I was so shy, I didn't want to say. Now it's my chance. You are the only man I want to marry. So even you divorce me someday, at least I did what I want. I married this man once. You marry for convenience, but I marry for love. That was it. Okay. We married 4 years together, no kids. I cannot say happily, I cannot say, but kind of friendly, kind of peacefully divorced. And by that time, I had my Norwegian passport already. I thought I want to come back to Australia. Then, if I come back to Australia with Eileen, I'm equal. We are equal. Okay, we're equal. We're not like immigrants or, I also have a European passport. But I think I received a letter, something from you or from somebody, talking about how cruel I was, how much you were hurt, and this and that. So I was a little bit scared to come back to Australia, to facing the reality. And also, my study and my business, my life went on in Norway well. So that just went on for another few years. Of course, in Norway, I had no girlfriend, I had no family for all these years, and 10 years I was in Norway. Until I met this Japanese girl, then I moved to Japan. Life started in Japan. I remember in Japan, you started to send me some checks from the Victoria Government Bank. Then I got to know you did not put my money in the house, pay for the mortgage. Instead, you put the money in the building some company bond for higher interest. But the building company went bankrupt. But that was a government-issued investment. So government had to pay me without interest, but not at once. They pay me a little by little, little by little. Tell you very, very honestly, frankly, I received a few checks from the Victoria Government Bank. In the beginning, I was able to check them. I was able to get the money. But gradually, I don't know why, they just did not allow me to check the money. So I did not get all the money back. But today, I come here to talk about this. It's not about money. Okay, I lost all this money. It's okay. And you sold the house in 2006. Okay, now, goes on. So life in Japan went on and on for a few years until 2006. Of course, you have always been in my mind. I always tell my Japanese wife about you, all my friends. I have a sister in Japan. I have a sister in Australia. I have a house in Australia. I always tell people that I'm from Australia. Until 2006, I had an accident. Something happened. I was temporarily lost memory. I was in the hospital and woke up and started to speak English. I forgot all the Japanese. I forgot Japanese wife or kids. Everything about Japan. My mind just went back straight to North Box Hill. Box Hill North. Okay, when the doctor asked me address, I just write Box Hill North, 3129, Victoria, Australia. And when my memory came back, I started to realize how important you are in my life. So I wrote a letter to you to tell you how important you are and I want to come back. I never received any reply, no reply. Until this time, I wrote a letter again to this same address and I got an answer from the young girl, the daughter of the family. Says, we bought this house in 2006 and we don't know the person you're talking about. Now I checked the internet. So you sold the house in 2006. I assume after you have received my letter. It means that you want to escape. You don't want to see me. You want to get away from me. You don't want me back. Okay. I also found out you sold house 3 or 4 times higher than you originally bought. Means that you made some money. It's okay. It's okay. You can have the money. You can keep the money. It's okay for me to lose the money. I'm not come back for money. Okay, I'm not come here after 30 years. Come here for the money. No. Money is not an issue. I know I have lost a lot of money recently for the incident happening in Japan, but still I'm not penniless. Okay, for me it's not a life and death situation. I still survive, no problem. I have enough for the rest of my life. Okay, I have no financial problem. I come back home. So, what all those things? All I want to say is that Eileen Wong, the existence of you to me is different from me to you. To you, I was just a boyfriend or fiancé, was going to get married to have a life together. But for me, you are more like a mother to me. Think, any man would trust a woman like that, would leave all his belongings, personal belongings, all money to a woman only known less than 1 year and walk away, and after 30 years come back to see her. No, I don't think so. I think there must be a link. If you realize or you don't realize, it doesn't matter. Okay. This time I come back. At least I know I did not hurt you as much as I thought. You must have your own life now. You must have your own family, you have your kids. It's not convenient for you to see me again. I understand, no problem. No matter where you are and what you do, all my best wishes to you. I hope all the happiness, everything good things happen to you. I pray for you every day. Okay. Also, I felt the love from you, the power from you all these years. As soon as I see a church, your image always came up to me. For me, you are the mother. You are angel sent by God to help me, to lead me, to take care of me. So you have always been in my heart. So this time, I come back to Melbourne, Box Hill, to see my home, even if it's homeless. And I know the house is not yours anymore, it's not mine anymore. The saddest thing, above all, is I got to know that I'm no longer in your heart anymore. Okay, I feel that I'm just orphaned, motherless. Anyway, this is my story. I say goodbye to Melbourne, goodbye to Box Hill, the house, home, and goodbye to Eileen. I really hope all the best to you. And life goes on. I have to keep searching. The tree. Okay, the tree in the water. The girl jumped for me to the water, became a tree. I'm looking for that tree. And I'm going to looking for someone look like Asian. Okay. Be my mother. Okay, again, I'm not crying. It's okay. I have to stop. Anyway, I want to thank Eileen for everything she did for me. Okay, for looking after me, for all those time we spent together. Thank you so much. You mean so much to me, to my life. Thank you. And also to the house at Box Hill. I cannot say it will always be my home because it's not my house anymore. But I must say, this house also meant so much to me during all these years. After I moved to Norway, I bought a house in Oslo, in Stavanger, in Bergen. I also have a summer house in Sweden. And in Japan, I bought quite a few houses. I also have a house in China. But I never remember any of these addresses. Only the present one, I'm staying in Japan, I can remember. But Box Hill North, this address, 3129, has always been in my mind, has carved into my mind. Never be out of my mind. Because to me, that is my home, but not anymore. I'm so sorry to say this. Can you just imagine a man at my age come back home, find myself homeless, and have to start everything over again from zero? Just imagine. But if this is God's plan for me, I will follow Him. I do best what I can. I will make best out of it.